Sam, Lexi, Aliar, Taylor, and Obi a tale of two consults.
Today, we're going to meet two different individuals with the same concern, their hearing. While both appointments aim to support the patient's hearing needs, each audiologist uses a distinct counseling style. In the first appointment, the clinician leads the session by providing information about test results, hearing aid technology, and recommendations, with less emphasis on the patient's personal experiences or emotional concerns. Pay attention to how the patient responds and engages during this interaction. In the second appointment, the approach shifts. Here, the audiologist emphasizes collaboration, encouraging the patient to share their experiences, preferences, and concerns. As you watch, consider how this counseling style may influence patients' understanding, comfort, and overall outcomes.
Taylor Lichty.
Good luck with your appointment.
I'm about to have a hearing aid consultation. I'm a little nervous about everything about what Dr. Abby has to say, but I'm optimistic. Wish me luck.
Ms. Lichty, I reviewed your audiometric data from last week.
Thank you for seeing me. I'm excited to talk about new hearing aids.
So you have a bilateral, mild, sloping to moderately severe sensory neural hearing loss with good speech scores.
What does that mean exactly?
Permanent cochlear damage bilaterally. The hair cells in your cochlea have degenerated. This is irreversible. See the X's and O's, those are your thresholds. Normal 0 to 25 dB. You're at 30 to 55 dB.
That sounds serious, right?
Your speech discrimination scores are good in both ears. In background noise, your performance will be significantly degraded.
So what do I need to do?
Bilateral amplification. Based on your audiometric configuration, I'm recommending premium technology, level RIC devices with directional microphones and frequency lowering capabilities.
What does all of this mean?
The devices I recommended have a plethora of important features such as adaptive directionality, impulse noise reduction, and frequency lowering technology.
That sounds like a lot. Do I really need all those features?
Your loss severity and configuration call for advanced signal processing. You reported difficulty in work meetings that require sophisticated noise reduction algorithms. Premium level technology is clinically indicated.
How much will all this cost?
$3,400 per device. That's $6,400 total for bilateral fitting.
Wow, that's a lot of money. Do I really need two? I don't think I'm comfortable with spending that much money. I don't know if you remember, but I wasn't even sure if I really needed any help hearing.
Bilateral hearing loss requires bilateral amplification. It's clinically indicated. Monaural fitting comprises spatial hearing. Research shows significantly better outcomes with bilateral fittings.
I see, but are there any cheaper options?
There are lower tier devices, but this recommendation is based on my professional opinion. Given your reported difficulties in complex listening environments, I wouldn't recommend downgrading. You need the advanced features to function adequately.
What about insurance? Will they cover any of this? This is a lot of money to ask for.
Unfortunately, no.
This is a lot to take in. Could I maybe just start with one hearing aid?
Your word recognition scores are nearly identical bilaterally. There is no better ear to prioritize. Fitting only one ear is insufficient, as I previously stated.
It's just so expensive.
I should inform you that untreated hearing loss is associated with social isolation, cognitive decline, depression, and increased fall risk. The evidence is substantial. Study shows a direct correlation between hearing loss severity and dementia risk. Delayed intervention can result in poor speech perception outcomes, even with appropriate amplifications.
I don't want dementia.
Then intervention is advisable. These devices have a fitting range up to 75 dB, so they'll accommodate any progression of your loss. They'll also have telequote capabilities for loop system, though most users prefer the Bluetooth streaming now. You'll be able to stream phone calls and audio directly to the devices.
I have to be honest, Abby. I'm not very good with technology. I still struggle with my smartphone. Will I be able to figure all this out?
So what have you decided?
I have been struggling at work. My wife has been telling me I need them.
The sooner you address the hearing loss, the better the outcomes. Your fitting appointment is scheduled for 3 weeks from today, 11 a.m. The appointment takes 1 hour. Don't be late. I have another appointment.
What if I have questions before then?
You can call the office to schedule phone consultation if needed. Any other questions right now?
No, I guess not.
All right, see you in 3 weeks. Checkouts at the front desk.
Lexi?
It's my turn. I'm so excited. I heard Dr. Relay is a great listener. Hello.
Hi! Feel free to take a seat.
Thanks.
Is it okay if I call you Lexi?
Yes, please.
Okay, awesome. It's so nice to meet you. Before we dive into your test results today, I'm really interested in knowing how things are going for you. So tell me a little bit about that.
Honestly, things haven't been great. I'm a high school teacher, and just last week, a student was talking to me. They asked me a question during class, and I completely missed it. The whole class had to tell me that they were talking to me, so I was feeling really embarrassed. And you know how high schools are, they can be really cruel.
That must have been very upsetting.
It was, and now I see that it's not just at work. My teenage daughter told me last night that she feels like I've been ignoring her, and I'm not ignoring her, I just can't hear her.
So, from what I'm understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, this isn't just about you missing words. This is affecting relationships with important people in your life, like your daughter. Is that correct?
Exactly, and I really do love teaching. You know, I've been doing it for 10 years, but now I'm worried that my principal is thinking I'm not paying attention to my students, or that, I don't know, I'm like losing it.
I can see how that would be really frustrating. Seems like you're working very hard, and on top of a hard job that you have, having hearing loss can make it even more exhausting.
Yeah, and you know, by the end of the school day, I'm completely drained, and then I come home and my daughter wants to talk to me, and I can't keep up with everything.
How does she feel about this whole situation?
I can tell that she's frustrated. You know, as a teenager, everything feels like a really big deal, and that it's like life ending. And she said something last night that really got to me. She said, it's like, I don't even want to listen to her anymore.
Thank you so much for sharing that with me, Lexi. I know that can be really hard to talk about. Would it be okay if we started with your test and talked a little bit about those results and what those results mean to you personally?
Yeah, I would like to understand
All right,
a little
awesome.
bit more about what's happening.
Let's get started. All right, Lexi, so this is your audiogram or your hearing test. These mark how soft a sound has to be for you to barely hear it. As you go down, the bottom sounds are very, very loud. The blue X's are your left ear and the red circles are your right.
Okay, I'm following.
So this shows that your left ear has more hearing loss than your right. In your left ear, you're missing a lot of sound, especially in these higher pitches, which is where your daughter's voice would land.
Okay, well that makes a lot of more sense. I have a hard time hearing girls in my class, but not so much the older boys.
So when you're in a classroom with 30 teenagers all talking at the same time, or at home and there's TV, there's dishes clanking, maybe your daughter's playing music, your brain is working overtime at home and also in the classroom, which I can tell would make you exhausted.
Yeah, I guess I never thought about it that way. I am exhausted all of the time.
So now that we've gone over your test results, let's talk about what you would most like to improve on.
I want to feel really confident in my classroom again. I want my students to respect me and not think I am an old teacher that can't keep up. And I really want to hear my daughter. I want her to know that I'm listening and that I really do care about what she has to say.
Those are really beautiful and important goals to help you be the teacher that you know you are and the mother that you know your daughter needs.
Yeah.
All right, so based on your hearing test and what we just talked about, your classroom, your relationship with your daughter, I think hearing aids could really help you get back to feeling like yourself in those really important situations.
I was afraid that you would say that, you know. I'm a very young looking 42. But aren't hearing aids only for old people?
I hear that concern a lot, actually. But can I ask you something? When you miss your daughter's questions and she gets frustrated, or when your students have to repeat themselves and you see that look in their faces and you get embarrassed, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel like I'm failing, you know, as a mom for my daughter and as a teacher for my students.
So the hearing loss itself is already affecting how you feel about yourself and how others see you.
Yeah, I guess so.
Are you open to seeing what today's hearing aids look like?
Yeah.
Great, let's get started.
I just don't know. I still don't know if I can afford it to pay that kind of money right now.
Well, here's another option to consider. What if we give you both of the hearing aids and you try them during your trial period? That way you can experience the full benefit, see how they work in your classroom, with your daughter, in faculty meetings. Then you could decide if it's worth it for you. The trial period is 60 days.
Okay, there's a trial period?
60 days. Yes, and you can return them even if they're not working for you. There is a fitting fee, but you'd get a majority of your money back. It gives you time to really test them out in your real life.
So I could try them both and see if it's really worth the investment for me.
Exactly. The difference between making an informed decision based on actual experience and not just guessing.
Okay, I feel comfortable. Let's try to do that. I'll try both and see if they really do help with my daughter and with my students.
I think that's a great plan. I really believe this is going to make a difference for you. I can call you when they're ready and we'll schedule your fitting appointment. The appointment takes about an hour and I'll make sure they fit comfortably and teach you the basics just like we had previously discussed. And we'll adjust them based on your specific hearing test. So let's get your fitting scheduled. And a reminder, between now and then, if you think of questions, and you probably will, just jot them down and bring them to the fitting or call me. My direct number is on the card.
Perfect. Thank you so much. How does the lighting look?
Amazing.
Okay. So, how did your appointment go?
I was diagnosed with hearing loss. Lots of letters.
What do you mean by letters?
X's, O's, RIC, DB, something about my cochlea being damaged.
Oh,
Also, I apparently need premium adaptive directional frequency lowering bilateral amplification.
okay. What does that mean?
I think it means I'm expensive.
So my doctor asked me about my classroom, my daughter, how I was feeling. We made a plan together. I got a trial period, so I have a lot of hope. So my doctor asked me about my classroom, my daughter, how I was feeling. We made a plan together. I got a trial period, so I have a lot of hope.
My doctor asked me if I had any questions, but in a way that meant don't ask me anything.
So did your doctor show you your hearing test?
Yes, like a weather report for my ears.
Oh.
Cloudy with a chance of deafness.
Mine showed me where my daughter's voice falls on the chart of hearing loss and why I can't hear her. And so then we started talking about if I needed to start with one hearing aid or two.
I tried that. They said research shows I would fail and that I was silly for even asking.
Oh, I got a 60-day trial period to try it out.
I got a follow-up in 3 weeks and fear of dementia. I came in worried about my hearing. I left worried about my cognitive decline, my fall risk, and my credit score.
I came in worried about my hearing and I left excited to hear from my daughter again.
Did your doctor make eye contact?
Yes.
Mine had a very meaningful relationship with the computer.
Do you want my doctor's number?
Yes, and possibly a payment plan. And there you have it, 2 appointments. One felt a little like a TED Talk starring the audiologist, and the other felt more like an actual conversation starring the patient. Both provided helpful information or scared the crap out of the patient, but only one made space for the patient to be a part of the process. So yes, hearing aids are important, but so is remembering that the person wearing them might want to talk too. Shocking, I know.